Welcome everyone to Shanti Peace Yoga. Today's class is a deep stretch Yin style practice. I've labeled it intermediate in level because some of these poses are a bit more of an advanced stretch, and if you suffer from any joint pains or injuries, these may not be suitable for you. We will also be holding each pose for up to 3 minutes at a time, and this in itself can be quite a challenge for both the mind and body. Please don't push yourself. Listen to your body and pull back on the intensity or release the pose entirely before I cue. You may also like to have a block and folded towel or blanket during this class. We'll begin and start off lying on our belly in a prone position. Your head can rest on the folded blanket if you're using one, or you can rest on your forearms or on your hands. Legs can be wide or narrow. We're using this time to mentally settle into our practice, closing down the eyes, smoothing out the breath, and letting go of the outside world and all its distractions. Let's take one more inhale and exhale. Staying as we are, we'll come into a quad stretch. Start by bending the left knee and then reach back behind you with the left hand and draw that leg further towards you. Keep the pelvis square to the ground, anchoring the left hip down to the mat, and consciously drop the left shoulder down away from the ear. We'll take one more deep inhale and carefully release the hold of the leg or the foot on the exhale. Keep the left leg bent, turn the head to the left, and extend the right arm out wide. From here, we'll push into our left hand, bring the left foot back behind us to the ground, feeling a stretch in the chest and rotation in the spine. Left hand can stay as it is, or try extending the left arm skyward. Another option is to bring the back of the left hand to rest near the right hip, opening the left shoulder. Wherever you are, deepen and slow the breath as we hold here. Let's bring our left hand back to the mat in front of us if you had it overhead. On your next exhale, we'll carefully roll ourselves back down to the mat, returning to prone position. And we'll repeat this on the other side, starting with the quad stretch, this time bending the right knee, reaching behind us with the right hand, guiding the foot closer towards us. Remember to keep anchoring the right hip down to the mat. Drop the right shoulder away from the ear. And you might notice a difference this side versus the other. Taking one more deep inhale and letting go of the foot on the exhale. Keeping the right knee bent, we'll come into our chest stretch, turning to face the right, extending the left arm out wide. And when you're ready, gently pushing into your right hand, bringing the right foot back behind you, and holding here, or experimenting with the right arm, bringing it up overhead or behind you to rest, this time on the left hip crease. We'll return the right hand to the mat out in front of us if you had it overhead. Taking one final inhale and releasing on the exhale. Coming back to a prone position, we'll slide our hands under our shoulders, and when you're ready, we'll come into Balasana, child's pose, sending the hips back to rest on the heels. And let's widen out the knees so it's a wide-legged child's pose, stretching and opening the hips. Head is resting on the mat, and you have the option here of keeping the arms relaxed overhead, or join me in taking the hands together in prayer, bending at the elbows and sending our prayer hands to rest towards the back of the neck. And you should feel this in your triceps. Wherever you are in Balasana, deepen and smooth out the breath, one continuous in and out cycle. Slowly and gently start to release the arms back to the mat if they were overhead. Taking one final inhale, and on the exhale, releasing Balasana, coming up to our hands and knees. From here, let's take a short moment in cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, round the spine, broaden across the shoulders. 2 more rounds. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest and the gaze. Exhale, round the spine. Allow the head to come between the arms. Last time, inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest and the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, broaden the shoulders, drop the head. Returning to a neutral tabletop position, we're going to come into pigeon pose, Kapotasana, on the right side. Right knee slides forward and actively send the left leg out behind you. If you have a large gap between your right hip and the mat, you can place your block or folded towel under the hip. You have the option of staying here with your chest upright, or start to slowly lower down, folding over the bent leg. You may like to rest your head on the block or towel. We're here for a while. Avoid pushing beyond that first point of sensation. Use deep breaths of oxygen to help the muscles and tissues let go, let down, and release. We'll prepare to release pigeon pose. Slowly and with control, take one final deep inhale and rise up on the exhale. To ease the legs apart, roll onto your right hip, bend the left knee and tuck the foot in beside you. We'll now extend the right leg, pointing towards the left corner of the mat. We're moving into head to knee, Janusirsasana, to stretch the back of the right leg. Taking a deep inhale, and as we exhale, folding and surrendering down over that right leg. If the hamstrings are tight, you might need to bend the knee, and that's okay. We have lots of time here to breathe deeply and allow the body to let go. If you need support for your head, you can use your block or rest your head in your hands. Try to keep other areas of your body relaxed, dropping the shoulders, unclench the jaw, relax the eyes and the hands. Let's take one more deep inhale and exhale as you carefully rise upright, taking your time with your legs here. When you feel ready, swinging the left leg out and around, and you might like to shake the legs out a little bit. You might already notice a difference in the right side compared to the left, which we're now about to stretch. Repeating the sequence on the left, we'll start with pigeon. Left knee bends, right leg extends out behind you. Prepare your props if you're using the towel or the block, and notice how this left hip might be feeling compared to the right. If you have a gap, feel free to bridge the gap with the block or towel. Feel free to stay upright here on the fingertips, shining the chest forward. Or if you feel ready, we'll slowly lower our chest down, folding over that left knee. Remember, we have lots of time here, so find that first edge, that first point of sensation, and hold there, letting the breath guide you deeper with time. Getting ready to release Kapotasana. Taking one final inhale and slowly rising back up on the exhale. Transitioning into Janusirsasana, head to knee, rolling onto the left hip to tuck the right knee in and then extend the left leg towards the right corner of the mat. Stretching the back of the left leg now. Sitting up nice and tall, taking an inhale, folding down over the knee on the exhale. Notice how this side compares to the other, and like how we were in pigeon pose, find that first edge, the first point of sensation in the stretch, and stay there with the breath. Like before, you can use your block to support your head or rest your head in your hands. Taking one final inhale here and using the exhale to slowly rise back upright, taking our time, swinging the right leg out and around and shaking out the legs. Now you're welcome to stay here resting, or you can join me by crossing at the ankles and having a quick moment in downward facing dog, just to stretch out the legs, maybe pedal the feet, really bending each knee, shaking the hips side to side, just seeing if this feels good for you. We'll take one more inhale in downward dog and bend the knees to the ground on the exhale for release. We're moving on now into Virasana, hero pose, and if you have a thin yoga mat like me, you might want to use your folded blanket as a cushion for the tops of your feet. Virasana is a deep stretch for the quads and front of the thighs. We start upright on our knees and using your hands, shifting the fleshy parts of your calves out to the side. Slowly lower your seat down to the ground between the legs. We'll stay upright here, crown of the head lifting skyward. If this is too intense for your knees, you might like to rest on your knees the more traditional way, or sit cross-legged, or come into a yogi squat. For those of us in Virasana, drop the shoulders away from the ears, relax the face, Maybe join me in taking a mudra, hands together in prayer. Remember our deep, slow breathing. We'll take one more inhale and exhale. Well done, everyone. We'll raise our hips up and maybe tap the feet out on the ground behind you. Moving on now to a seated spinal twist, half Lord of the Fishes, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Right leg extends out in front of you, and the left knee crosses over with the foot to the floor. Your left hand comes behind you for support. Inhale as you raise the right arm skyward, and exhale as you twist over to the left, right elbow to the left knee, looking over the shoulder if the neck allows. Keep lifting the crown of the head skyward. Avoid hunching over in this twist. And you might like to take Gyan Mudra, thumb and index finger resting together. We'll take one more inhale and return to center on the exhale. Keep the legs as they are, but shift your weight onto your right hip to swing your left knee so both knees are now stacked on top of each other in Gomukhasana. Now this is quite an intense stretch for the hips, so feel free to settle into this position or join me in an arm bind. We'll extend both arms out in front, then wrap the left arm under the right, bringing the hands together. Lift the elbows around eye level, and now shift the hands away from you, feeling the shoulders and upper back broaden and expand. Breathe. If you joined me in the arm bind, we'll carefully unwrap the arms and lower the hands down, taking one final inhale and exhale. I suggest carefully rolling onto the right hip to swing the left leg out and around, and then we'll lean back on our hands and windshield wiper our legs, dropping the knees side to side, going really gentle with our legs and our hips. Let's repeat this sequence on the other side, starting with half Lord of the Fishes, this time extending the left leg, crossing the right knee over, foot to floor. Right hand comes behind us for support. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, left arm rises. Exhale, twisting to the right, left elbow to right knee. Finding Gyan Mudra, and maybe looking over the right shoulder if the neck allows. We'll take one more inhale and exhale back to center. Coming into Gomukhasana on the other side, we'll lean over onto our left hip to swing the left leg out and around, stacking both knees on top of each other, trying to anchor both sit bones evenly into the ground, and you might notice a big difference already changing sides. Sitting up nice and tall, you can stay here or join me in eagle arms. This time the right arm wraps under the left, hands clasped, lifting the elbows up and then sending your clasped hands away from you, feeling the opening across the upper back and shoulders. Remember to breathe as we hold here. Carefully release your arms down by your sides. We'll take one more inhale and exhale. To unwrap the legs, we'll lean over onto our left hip and swing the right leg over and out to the side. And let's lean back into our hands and drop the knees side to side. You can shake out the legs or do whatever feels good for your hips. And we've arrived now at our final yin pose, a wide-legged forward fold, taking your legs out as wide as you like, and you can use your block or folded blanket here as a support for your head. Sitting up tall, we'll take an inhale, and when you're ready, walking the hands forward, lowering the chest and head down on the exhale. Remember, we're not trying to force our way into this yin pose. Use each breath cycle to slowly ease your way in, allowing the muscles and tissues to relax. Notice the shoulders and drop them down if you have them up by your ears. Notice your face. Relax the jaw. Try to sink in here. Let's take one final inhale and pressing into the hands, slowly rising upright on the exhale. Take your time here. You might like to use your hands to gently guide your legs out of this pose. And again, lean back onto your hands, shake out your legs if you feel it's needed. We've arrived now in Shavasana, our final relaxation pose, taking any shape that feels welcome for you. You might like to return to a prone position just as we began, or find any comfortable laying position where you don't have to hold the body in any particular way. You're simply melting completely into the ground below. Arriving back to the present, finding small movements in the body, maybe reaching the arms up overhead, lengthening the legs and feet away from you. There's no rush, but we'll come to rest onto our side and pause here for a few breaths. When you feel ready, we'll make our way slowly and gently back upright in any seated position of choice. Maybe keep the eyes closed as you transition. Let's close our practice with a cleansing breath. Sitting tall, we'll inhale as we circle the arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale out the mouth, hands together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for joining me, yogis. We'll close with our mantra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bowing forward, Namaste.